Ooh, resume current broadcast is an option. So hopefully that intro saved. If not, this is a Calamity Jones hour, a calamitous hour as fucking always. Didn't
Perfect.
start on time, but we'll see. It said resume, so hopefully this will be one. But anyway, it's January 22nd, 2021. Without further ado, my friend, and now yours, Mr. Daren Dillon.
Yay! Woo! All right, yeah, I'm
Hello.
here. Yay! Whoopee!
Well, you know how to use Skype. I don't. You ended up being the savior here.
Which
So
is really pathetic because I'm like the bottom rung of tech. I don't know what I'm doing. So
I
that means
know.
you're really, really fucked up.
I know it's really, really bad because like Bonnie's like, oh, I'm like the tech savvy one, and I can like share things on Facebook and get around. And I've done Skype podcasts before, which is the most embarrassing part of all of this. But we learn, and being under pressure is, I think, part of all of this. I think it's part of what we love, probably as comedians. I didn't introduce you properly. Daren Dillon is a comedian. He's over here if I do it, and he is. Yeah, so you must deal well under pressure being a comedian, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the live stuff never bothered me. I'm sure it never bothered you either. You know, we're paid to go up live and perform. So
Hey, you get paid to do comedy? There's
I
money?
used
There's
to.
money
I
going
used
around?
to. But everything's changed now, you know, and there's always so much pressure on you, especially if you're taking this serious, like we do. That when you put something out there that 8 o'clock you're going to be on, you want to be on at 8 o'clock because that's you, that's your brand.
Right, right. I know, and
And
yeah, I know, and that's why it was helpful to have someone like you, an experienced man who's just like, we're good, just take your time, because like yelling at a kid's not gonna fucking help.
right,
Like, Mandy,
right.
we're late. What do you got? Like, Glenn walked in after smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, yeah, we didn't even start yet. I'm doing a password change because my phone thinks that I've been abducted because I literally have to change my password every time. It makes me because I used 5 fucking devices, so I forget
Yeah.
my password, and then it doesn't know it's me, and so it takes 45 fucking minutes to get back into my fucking shit.
Well,
It's
that's
just
constant. That's all of us have to deal with that, and that's going to be gone soon because
how
I
I'm
don't
just
know if
gonna
you.
put my head in and it's gonna
I'll
know.
explain it to you. Yeah, I'll explain it to you. If you would have watched my first episode and second episode of the newest podcast I'm doing, the Rabbit Hole
The
podcast with Steve
rabbit
Laszlo.
hole. Yes, I have it on the screen. You can't see it right now because we're just Skyping, but when you see the show after, or you can pull it up live on your show.
Awesome.
Oh, you should actually pull it up on your phone now. And as I
So yeah,
tell
you guys could jump in there, but we addressed this with the episode of Elon Musk, #2, how he's going to have a little implant in all our brains, and we're all going to be connected, and all this shit's going to be ancillary. You're not going to have to worry about passwords.
they're just gonna know that I'm the fucking idiot that doesn't have passwords, and then I'm just gonna stick my head in. I mean,
Well, they're going to have a specific program just for you, Mandy, and they'll write it so that they know.
that's isn't that going to be complicated to write a different program for each individual snowflake out there? Because aren't we
Well,
all individual snowflakes?
well, no, we're not.
We're pretty
We're really not.
basic.
We're pretty much. I decided today we're 50% ape and 49% alien. So I think that's what we are. We're not
And wait, what was
snowflakes.
your what was the final percent that you had? Because I think that
Douchebag.
because I thought
Douchebag.
douchebaggery might have been higher, around 3%, and
For me, it might be 9. I have to be honest, but
because you have to have a certain amount of douchebaggery in your life to not get taken advantage of. Like I'm sure you've taught your kids, like you can't get taken. Like, all right, guys, I'm just talking about Daren because he's my friend. You guys don't know him. He's got 2 children. State their genders and ages, so they can relate.
actually,
So
well,
people can relate.
I have 2 little ones, and I
Oh,
have
you
an
have
older
3
one
kids.
too.
You
I'm
have
a
3
teenager, right?
children. You have 3 children.
16, 11, and 7.
Okay, so
Girl, boy, girl.
yeah, girl, boy, girl. All right.
All
So,
right.
so you've had to instill some sort of douchebaggery into your children for them not to get taken advantage of, correct?
Well, that
Or is
genome is
it
very
inherent
strong.
because you're 9?
Right. That runs deep. Please, I have to rain it down on them. They all think they're the tough guy from New York down here. You know, like, oh, we're from New York, and no one's gonna mess with us. You know.
But are they? I mean, what are some of the transitions that you moving from? I've never made a big move. I lived in New York my entire life. I mean, what's it like moving? Like, have you made big moves like that before? Like, lived out of
No,
state? And what's it like?
it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I don't know how we did it. I'll never do it again. Next time I'll hire people. Fuck this. It was
Oh, just
the
the
only
amount of
good thing.
stuff.
The only good thing, Mandy, was I threw out so much of their shit.
Yes. No,
They
that
have
is.
no idea. They're like, "Daddy, where's this?" I'm like, "I don't. There's still another truck coming. We'll keep our fingers
Oh,
crossed."
their shit. Some stuff
I
got
threw out.
lost in the
Oh
move.
my god! But it's crazy. That move is insane because you know I, there's no planning for it. You just have to do it. You just have to start doing it, and it happened so fast because it was right around this time. Everything was starting to happen with COVID and the lockdowns, and people were worried about jobs and shit. And I was lucky enough that I was still working from home, but the company I was working with was really, you could tell it was going to go. And I was done. I was done there. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking it's time for maybe a change. And this was like the impetus. All our family's down here. My mom's down here. And
Oh,
I was like,
okay. I didn't know that. I
yeah,
know, well, because I know Jess's family's down there. I didn't know, right?
yeah,
Okay, so, and then your mom's down there as well. That's awesome.
right. So, and she got sick. So we're like, let's just bam, we'll go. And we did it. I'm glad we did because I feel 10 years younger. Like I feel invigorated. I'm
Yeah, dude,
happier.
you're on your longboard. One of my biggest regrets right now is that my longboard is in my fucking storage unit. I moved a year ago, and like there's tires in there and like a couple of other things, but my fucking longboard's in there, and that's what I want. And
So much fun.
dude, if may I ask your age?
I'm
How?
50.
But you started,
I'm
but to start longboarding at 50, God bless you, dude.
yeah.
I see you out
I'm
with the
loving it
kids. It's awesome.
all the time. It's was the best move we could have done. A lot of people are like, oh, you're going to Florida. I guess you're packing it in. I'm like, well, nothing was happening in New York. There's still nothing happening in New York, and
And
you
you
can
could
do
just
anything you want
call
here.
me. We're
Right.
basically, you're in New York right now.
Yeah.
It's called the
So
internet, guys.
it was a good move. The clubs are open down here. I
Oh,
haven't jumped
good.
into them. I
Okay.
haven't jumped in yet. I don't want to take chances.
Had you,
Jess has got an problem. I don't want to get her sick, God forbid. So
yeah, no, yeah. My mother always says choose life.
right,
Like with certain like silly stuff, she's like, yeah, choose life. Like
absolutely,
with like something like needing to get back into a club full of snot nosed people that are,
yeah,
it's one thing where if they were gonna be, everyone's definitely doing, because you guys are like balls to the wall down there. You guys are like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no masks, like fucking, it's like
Well, they're
cowboy.
actually. I have to tell you, they started wearing masks now. It's changed a little bit. It's gotten
Okay,
better. When we first got down here, it was a little bit crazy, but mostly everyone's wearing masks now. But
okay.
yeah, it's the Wild West out here. It really, really is. And I'm dying to go to the clubs. I really am. I want to. I mean, I haven't performed since we performed last summer. That's how long it's been.
Yeah,
So I just don't want to. I'm going to wait, till the vaccines and it cools down because, like you said, choose life. It's not worth it.
yeah.
It'll be there. You know.
Exactly, exactly. And what I like want to do, like every time that it's like, oh, I'm not gonna go out to a mic on a Monday night when I should be on a mic. Because when I first started comedy, I was like, oh, I'm going out every night. I'm gonna learn jokes. I'm gonna write jokes. I'm gonna see what jokes work. And I'm like, if I'm not gonna go out because I'm not gonna physically try jokes, I should at least take a notebook out and I should try writing, or at least go through my phone and take a couple memos out and extrapolate on a couple things, cut the fat out of a couple things, like, because you living and taking a break from life gives you jokes. Like, I'm sure you have a whole hour
Oh,
worth of material on moving from state to
what?
state with three kids of those ages.
Yeah. Well, what you said is so smart. It's living. You get your act from living. You just can't be in an apartment writing jokes all day like some nebbish, from the 1980s. It doesn't work anymore. You have to live, and living is where the material comes from. And I've written a lot. I really have written a lot, and I'm dying to get it up on stage and give it some legs. But that time will come. It's been a whirlwind. It really has been. I moved down here with no job, just like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Because
And
you do. Honestly,
yeah,
I'll never forget my friend's. She's basically like an aunt to fucking whatever. My in laws. Friend of the
Right.
family. She's fucking not blood related. I can't even explain her on a tree, but she's in there. But anyway, she had said to me, like, her plan with her man was like, we're gonna have they were married, but we're not gonna have the kid until the house is big enough. And then she's like, it got to a point where we're getting older, and we looked at each other and we said, we're gonna have the kid in the small house, and then we buy the bigger house, and we fucking move with the kid. We figure it out.
Right.
We adapt and we overcome. And we figure it out. Like, it's even Glenn and I buying this house is like we bought. Thank God we got it right before the pandemic. Because working remote we would have killed each other in the little house we were living in, just because being on top of one another, and then me needing. I got crazy just having my computer at my kitchen table, like having that mental stress of having work in the like, hi, beautiful, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. I love seeing your beautiful face. You're such a positive beam of light.
She don't know you.
Right? I am.
You are. Every time I see her in public, she is a beam of light. What
She's
we
the
do in
best.
our own homes is between us and our loved ones. But I want
Oh, yeah,
to.
she can't hear you. You know, I just realized she can't hear you.
So I'm signing to her.
Well,
I'm talking to you. He goes, I just realized she can't hear you. I'm totally addressing you. I'm calling you beautiful.
oh, thank you so much.
Well, you're such a doll. I said you're a beam of light. And he's like, she is not. I was like, you don't know what goes on in our own homes. You are a beam of light. You are. No, Jess, while I have you on, a moment that something when I first met you two, something that you told me that made that laughing is important is you said that you left a little post-it for yourself, turn on the dishwasher, and Daren adds, talk dirty to the toaster.
Talk dirty to the toaster. I woke up.
And I met you, and I'm like, she's fucking cool, man. It's because it's not easy to be a spouse of a comedian. Glenn fucking puts up with a lot with me. A lot. Yeah.
I know how he feels.
No, you guys are fucking awesome. We were just talking about the move and all the good stuff, so I wish you guys so much fucking well down there.
Oh, I hate it down here.
You're in a bikini every day, you bitch.
There's so many things crawling around here that bite me, that want to eat my face.
Everything.
There are coyotes running in front of my window at night.
You got a big dog?
Snakes.
Your dog's like It's not like you got like a
alligators in the lakes. We ran a snake. What do you call it? What kind of snake was it? No, the one that went on Lily.
Oh, it was a copperhead.
A copperhead snake crawled up my 7-year-old's ankle.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right.
I'm living in the land of the lost here. I want to come home.
It's all right. I have to defrost my windows in the morning. Don't worry. You're not missing anything.
Well,
there was
no,
snow in my driveway for 2 days. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah, but I never had to worry about that anyway.
Me neither, but I have to look at it.
No, that's true. That's true.
And I gotta hear.
Well, I hope I get to see you guys.
I know.
Mwah.
I owe you.
All right. So
be good.
I'll sneak away and come up and we'll hang out.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Jessica Dillon, everyone.
Yes,
the fabulous. You couldn't hear.
Jessica Dillon.
I was singing her praises because I was saying it's not easy being the spouse of a comedian.
No, it's not.
You know, because we're like number one egotistical fucking crazy maniacs. So we usually pair with people that are on a different level of insanity. Like she just giggles at everything. Like she's great.
Yes.
She totally
She's
has
got her.
She
it's
like
not, you know.
She's not like offended at things.
No, at anything. Please,
And you guys totally encourage your kids to be their weird people that they are, the 49% alien that you are. You really encourage that.
We do. We absolutely do.
And I think that's really positive for like a kid because like, you know, you need that. You need that creativity. Because right now, me and you with the computers, like we're doing it because it's to, we're having a conversation, we're putting on a podcast, whatever, but it's the writing the jokes, it's the real creativity, it's the actual laughing in the moment that I think matters in the grand scheme of things. Can we talk about your podcast a little bit, the Rabbit Hole podcast?
Absolutely. I don't think you know Steve Laszlo.
I don't know Steve.
He's a Long Island guy. He was
Okay.
one of the old. He started before me. He started with Kevin and all those guys and Joey.
Okay.
So he's been around for a while, and he moved out to LA. I think in '99 or 2000. He was out there. He was out there for like 10 years. So I went out there and visited him a couple of times, and he was really making a lot of headway. Then things changed. He moved again. He ended up here in Florida. That's where I am now, and so we're like back again. We're like two kindred spirits. So. The podcast was his idea that he came up with. He's like, it's like a rabbit hole. First, he was thinking, I want to talk about trending subjects and what's going on, and basically just an outlet, like you said, because we're sitting around doing nothing. We're creative people. We want to get out there. The clubs are out open here, but Steve he's diabetic, so he's high risk, so he doesn't want to go out and take a chance. So you look for other outlets, like you said. So his idea was, we'll dive into rabbit holes, because I would say how I'll start looking at a YouTube video and that leads me to one, to another, where you started looking up, how to build a mud hut, and now you're looking at back alley abortions that were drawn in the 1930s for propaganda Nazi cartoons. So it's crazy where it takes you. So that's our premise behind it is we picked the trending topic of that week of what's going on in YouTube. The first one, it was actually robots, then it was Elon Musk. This week we did one about rabbit holes, a rabbit hole episode about rabbit holes, going into all the rabbit holes that you can find on YouTube. And it's us just, looking at the stupid videos and talking and interacting. And Steve and I have a great rapport. We always did. He's never been funnier than when he was in my Jeep, when we were driving back and forth to the city. That's what comics would always say about him. He killed in the Jeep. So once we get our legs under us, because we haven't been working together forever, I know it's going to be a real interesting listen. Right now we're just doing it on YouTube. We're just trying to build that channel. Eventually we'll get it up on a platform and you can listen to them as well. But it's not just an audible. It's a view. It's a visual where it's a little interactive, so you can see what we're talking about. It's similar to like what Rogan does, but it's just no way as high end and as popular as what he's doing, but it's similar.
But you know what? We were talking in the beginning that people are so basic and that they really aren't very different. But you and your friend you and Steve will have a different show than Joe Rogan, because you're not Joe Rogan. And it could be better than Joe Rogan to a different ear, people, one of my friends, I won't let their name out, but was getting down about comedy the other day. And I was like, it's like music. Not everyone's going to like and dance to every tune. But can we all agree that music is fucking wonderful? And if it's maybe that somebody's comedy's not your style, doesn't mean that you're a bad person, doesn't mean that they don't like you. It doesn't mean that, and success and funny and success never equal each other in comedy, which is funny. Because there's a lot of guys guys and gals that are funny that I'm like, if you work on this shit, if you worked on this and you tried, you'd be fucking killing it right now. But there are people that just think that somebody's going to walk into a bar and go, you're the next person.
Which doesn't happen.
No, you have to build doors and create opportunities for yourself.
And it's not a meritocracy, like you said. The funniest, most talented don't always succeed. They don't.
Right.
And a lot of people think that's so unfair, but that's how it is. And you got to just realize that maybe someone else got something because they worked harder or they got lucky. Either way, you can't let that eat you up. That's not going to help your act.
Right, exactly. The only competition you have is looking in the mirror, and I try to live by that. I really do just try to live by looking at myself yesterday and how I am doing, because once you start looking at, because if I go on Instagram right now, people are, people my age are going in all different directions. People are starting businesses, people are having kids, people are, clothing company, people have all different shit going on. That they're first getting their feet, graduating with, becoming lawyers. I just became a doctor. I just fucking, nailing their first fucking big landing job. And it's like, whoa, they got like a path that they're like forging, and it's intimidating if you look at it, especially because we only put the good scope on here. You don't put the fucking you don't put the arguments on Facebook. You only put this is us happy as can be. Like there's literally there on Facebook. Glenn and I got tagged for celebrating a friendship because we have 10 photos together, like tagged. This was before I was doing podcasting at home, like because he sits at the table with me a lot of the time and will do interviews with me. But we were tagged in 10 photos together because I'm like, my comedy page, when you see me when you go to Mandy Jones, the comedian on Facebook, or Mandy Jones on Facebook, I want you to see me with a mic. I want you to see where you can find me perform. Now it's all where my podcasts are and what the recent shit is, and if I mentioned a podcast, where to find your podcast and where to find this music I said I like and this guy and this and that. And I try to keep it settled because it's like if I just start posting like everyone in my family's birthday and it gets so jumbled, and it's like it's just really hard to manage what people see. And like it's funny because like over the weekend, like I almost am like not on the phone a lot. Like, when I should be like, Saturday, like, doing like a promo, like, don't forget to watch Mandy Jones. Like, when people are actually on is when I should be doing it, but it's when I'm like so fucking done with the phone. And then on Sunday, I'm like, all right, I got to get the flyers out for like this week. Like, I got yours out yesterday for today. Like,
it's hard.
Like,
it's not easy when you're on that all the time. And I'm the same way on the weekends. I don't want to look at it. You know, if I'm doing something with the kids, I'll post something up, whatever, like you said, but it's 24/7 when you're trying to be successful at what you and I are trying to do. You got to be doing it all the time, and you got to be on top of it and try to be a little innovative or different or whatever it may be to get that following.
Right.
And plus be creative, give good content, and be likable.
Something we both do that I admire you for. You will not talk politics on your Rabbit Hole podcast, or at least
we'll see.
Well, you said
Blaslow. But if we do talk it, I can tell you this: it's not going to be bickering back and forth.
It's not going to be inflammatory.
Who's better and who's not.
Right.
It's going to be let's go in and see who's responsible for this, who did that, where's this go? Because there's a lot of rabbit holes that just went down the last 2 weeks. We all know that it's going to be deep.
Yeah, they're digging.
It's going to be.
Yeah, no, but and you never take a political stance. That's why I thought it was so funny that it was Adam Snare who put your face as the stealing the Capitol.
Yes. Well, it's his idea. I put it there.
But I was like, I love that. You know, that was great because you are like you're on the fence. Everybody's an idiot. Just fucking. Be nice to your neighbor.
There was one person, Mandy, who I'm still hoping for to save us. And she was on Rogan today, and that's Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, I don't know who this is. Speak her praises.
Go listen to her. Okay. She's amazing. She wants what's right for this country.
Okay.
Go listen to it. She's the best. And she just but she gave a lot of insight of what's happening. And maybe I shouldn't use that word yet. She just blew him. She opened up the curtain to a lot of ongoings that happens on the Senate floor, how they're all pressured. Like people will pressure her to vote for the party good, not for the person good, which we all kind of knew, but to hear it is really slimy.
Yeah. Well, because it's getting to a point where these people, they're like, I want to move up and I want to be the person who makes the change. And if it's like, let's equate politics to comedy where you take a chance and I'm going to do something weird that no one's done before. And they might boo me. They might kick me out. But I'm trying to do something that's a little different. And I'm going to try something and it might not work. And it might not work every time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Rogan was drooling at what she was saying, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't agree with her because there are so many people that can't see change and don't see possibility because they just see the framework that we already have.
That's a really intellectual point you have there. And it's obviously that you're not only the brains, but the beauty in the relationship with your husband.
No, oh my God, are you kidding? He is so smart. He's the reason that I have all this fucking, not only the house that I'm in, because I don't know anything about percentages, finance, any of that shit. I signed my life away. I'm like, you could have whatever. I have no idea what any of that shit was. All the podcasting shit, as soon as we came home, we got fucking new computer. I got me lighting. You know, I've got monitors. I'm all set up where I literally drag gear up the Skype to up here so that I'm looking directly at my camera. We got the comments pulled up for Bonnie on the wildflowers every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30. So it's great because he really like. You need the other. It's the idea of the other. Like he sees possibility and potential in myself that I don't see, and I see potential and possibility in himself that he doesn't always see. And that's what a partner is. You know, it's like
He's great.
he
Well,
really is.
I love your husband.
No,
He really
I
is.
know
He's a
you
good
do.
guy.
You were like, I told him specifically. I was like, Daren was saying, say hello to Glenn, and I'm like, nuzzle fucking Jess's fucking titties for me because
You know, I can see in your husband. I see the genuine kindness and belief he has in you. You can see it.
yeah, no,
You can't bullshit that, and that's awesome.
yeah, no, it's good because it's held me to a standard, you know, and it's like, you know, it's really good because it's like I need that drive. Like I'm a competitive person, so once it's
Right.
like, you know, like, and him being like, he's home right now, but like we made a point for this to be Friday, and I could flip out on him right now and say, this is a Friday thing, and if you're home, you need to sit here and interview Daren with me. And but you know what? It's like, you worked all week. Me and Daren will fucking have our own conversation, and then we'll have you back, and it'll be a different conversation because, like I was saying before, no two snowflakes are the same, even though we're very similar. And even like that's what's great about Bonnie and I with the wildflowers. It's always Bonnie and I, but with a guest, we're always a different show because the third person is always adds to what the conversation's gonna go to, and
the other ingredient.
Right, and we're always catering to them because we try to say we're the host. You're as a guest, just like a guest in a home, because it says actually in my home. You know, it's, you know, we're trying to try to listen to them because we know we're on every week, and you know, so it's just really great. It's and God, it's been an outlet during this pandemic. Thank God that I had this, and it gave me Bonnie got us 2 sponsors, actually, local sponsors. So it's people that we feel confident saying that they have, you know, that I feel confident saying that they have good business and good business practices, and they're local. And for a small fee, they're going to sponsor us, and it's just that little bit of extra that's going to just up our show a little bit. And it's not that we're selling some random shit made in China that you know what I mean? These are direct people that we know.
Leave that to me.
You know, and it's just like, you know, this is like stepping us up. This is the next level of our podcast, like getting a sponsorship like this. Because I said, Bonnie, and now we put our business cards with wildflowers and where to find us in the fucking the beauty salon.
Yeah.
And like, and then there's women in there who aren't comics, because face it, all our friends that are comics are done listening to us. Right. They love us, Daren, but are they really going to listen tonight?
Right. Absolutely not.
Not if one, probably. They're going to be like, oh, Mandy and Daren hung out. Cool.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Next.
That's what it comes down to.
Oh, yeah, I met them. I know them. I get it.
Yeah.
But a woman in a salon that doesn't know me might be like, oh, that's interesting. That man's interesting. I never heard him before.
See, you've got a good business acumen for a creative person, which is interesting because most creative people that I know of and myself don't have that. Like, I'm terrible at business. The business side of it always have been so bad. And to be successful as a creative person, it's such an intricate part that sometimes we just forget about it. You know, there've been times where people said to me, like, wait, you don't have a Facebook page, like a like page? I'm like, no, like, what do you, like, I just never thought of that. You know?
I know.
And I just want to write my jokes, get on stage, make people laugh, and go home. That's all I want to do.
I'm going to give you homework because I don't have a Mandy Jones comedian page on Facebook either, and I really should.
You should.
Because you especially should, because I know with the kids and stuff, you do have stuff that more stuff gets jumbled. Does the Rabbit Hole podcast has its own group page? It better, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
And I have my own. That one does, and my personal one. And I always go back and forth, as you know, how you interact on the page, because sometimes you'll be. It doesn't even matter. You'll figure it out. If you need help, let me know. I'll help you create the page.
It's a whole fucking thing. I know.
I know.
And
You
it's a
need like a
whole nother.
business manager. You need a business manager just to handle that part of it. You really do.
That's why I told you. I'm like, you're like, you want me to sit on Skype for a minute? I'm like, no, it's going to take me 45 minutes to change my password because I'm a 30-year-old woman. And I've changed my password 10 times in the last 15 minutes. And it thinks I'm a fucking scam artist at this point.
But think about it. I mean, we did it, we absolutely did it. And how many other actors, though, are doing Zooms or whatever and have no idea what they're doing? They have assistants. So we're ahead of the curve.
Right, I know that's true too. I mean, it came down to it was a lot in the beginning when like my husband would be working at night and my mom would literally be texting me about like the poor quality and I'm like, not now. I can't be the talent but she's like, you wouldn't want me to tell you the audio is bad, and I'm like, I do want you to tell me the audio is bad. I can't do it all. I'm breaking down here. But
so tell me, I wanted to ask you before I forget now, before we go off on a tangent, and I know it's your show and I'm not
a rabbit hole. Go, bring it.
Give me the vibe and the feel of what's going on Long Island, like the comedy scene. I know Governors isn't open. I know they're still operating out of this radio studio. Like everything's changing. And I think we all know that when it does get back to normal, it's not going to be normal. It's going to be different. This whole scene is going to be totally different. Like what's going on there?
I've seen out of, not that I watched personally, but Governors they did do a virtual show, actually, where they had some of their, what they consider top grade, comedians or whatever,
Right.
some of their people who frequent their stage, do a Zoom show. And I don't
nonsense.
know what.
To me, I'm sorry, but that's complete nonsense. I'm sorry, guys.
I love
Come at me.
It's a mortal technique. It's, burn it off the internet and bump it outside, because the whole thing is, Daren, me and you give this out for free right now. When we fill a theater, when we do our fucking hour special for Netflix, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, I watched all that free content and had so much fun with Daren and Mandy over all those years, and I will pay $25 to sit at their fucking, or 50 or whatever the theater you're going to be in. And they'll sit to pay your jokes because they've loyally spent time and they've grown with you. People have grown with the Wildflowers, and Bonnie and I, we've already been on 2 networks where we've started at one place and then we brought it home, and we changed programs that we were using. We've integrated different things, and we've learned how to listen when, and not talk over one another, because people can't grasp that on a podcast.
Right. Well, I have to say, you guys, what you've done, I'm so proud of you guys, because there's so much, and I'm not bad-mouthing anyone, but so many people were able, due to the pandemic, pull themselves out of certain situations that allow them to become more creative on their own, more freedom, and owning their content. And I see what you're doing. I watch you on Facebook. I see what's going on, and you guys should be proud of yourselves. You're doing it, which is friggin' awesome. And if only 40 people are watching, who the fuck cares? Because you know what? Eventually it'll be 45. Then it'll be 49. Just put the content out there. You guys are doing it.
And that's the thing. And it's creating the content, and then having, when somebody finds you or someone loves you, they go, oh my God, they have all this shit that they've done. And then they go, holy shit, it's like finding Game of Thrones or some shit that people love, where it's one of those things that has so many seasons of it. And you get excited that there's all this content, and you can, I'm going to watch in the beginning when they all fumbled and talked shit and didn't even know, you know what I mean? And all that. And you see the growth. And it really is great. I mean, and we're recording just a moment in history, just me and you right now. Like, I'm not even trying to really be a clown. Like, we're really just catching up as friends at the moment. Like,
but that's what makes this watchable. When people are interacting, being normal and natural and talk, the funny will come. We don't need to set shit up. I'm not a fucking clown. And that's why people will watch. This is interesting. Everything else will come.
I do have a note that will make people laugh, though. You became quite Jess already said she's afraid of the rattlesnakes and everything else down there, some copperheads, but you became quite the nature boy. You were like a Steve. I was like, you need to do just you doing some nature bits, like some clips.
Love to.
Because
I would love to.
Because have you seen any of the people who they'll just record and they'll just do the funny commentary? Like, I see you doing like a Steve Irwin, but just not a Steve Irwin, but a New York who's in Florida observing a duck, because that's like what you were already doing. And I'm like, this is great. I love it, because I'm not looking at ducks where I'm at right now on Long Island. The comedy scene's not great. I'm more interested in the duck you're looking at in Florida on Facebook. All right, so
Well, spring is coming. Spring's coming, so I'm going to be doing a lot of those. I have to be careful because I promised Jessica I wouldn't get too close to the water because there are fucking alligators out here. But spring's coming. It's going to be. I'll be posting them. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
you have to
turtles
choose.
around here, like giant turtles, Mandy. When I tell you, they're
Oh.
fucking huge. They're fast. They have attitudes. They're all over the fucking place. This place is like a jungle. It's awesome. I fucking love it. I'm so happy. I wish everyone could move down here with me. All you guys, come here and stay with me. I want to start a comedy mafia down here in Florida.
Seriously, I'm not against it. I mean, honestly, because the wildlife thing is fun. Like, because it's like, I mean,
Oh, it's great.
I mean, I see like a wild cat around here every once in a while.
It's so different coming from Long Island, and
There's nothing.
because and I know people down here, like even Lazo said to me, because she's been down here for a while. It's like you want to stay away from the wildlife sort of. It's sort of like the hacky bit down here. But I'm like, yeah, but to me and to all my people from Long Island, we've never seen this shit, right?
I've never seen ducks
Walking
before.
down 25A and seeing a fucking bird dinosaur with backwards knees running at you. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm filming this. My friends in New York need to see this.
It's so much fun. Yeah, I wish everyone would come down here. I understand everyone has other needs and everything else that's going on, but as far as the entertainment industry, we're at a place where you could live anywhere and still perform and get booked and create your own content. So why not live where you're going to be most comfortable and happy? And that's probably the main reason why we picked up and left.
Yeah.
The quality of life is better. I'm happier. I know Jess says, I hate the bugs. Her family's down here. We go away all the time.
I
We
know.
go away this weekend. It's great. So it really was a good move. And I wish you'd all come down here.
Well, I don't know exactly where they are in Florida or exactly where you are in Florida. I know Florida's a big state. The Forgotten Angels Foundation, they build tiny homes for kids that age out of foster care. And Glenn's a carpenter, so him and I can carry bags of sand. I can help. We're going to go and we're going to fucking help build some tiny homes for these kids.
What are you doing? When are you doing that? That's amazing.
Well, I talked to the woman the other night, and she's actually going to get back to me because Jared Weems, he is a combat vet. He builds motorcycles. He had a brain tumor, and he builds motorcycles, and he built this custom bike, and he raffled it off, and it hasn't been won yet. You could still buy a ticket. It's $25. Doesn't go to Jared. It goes $25 donation goes directly to the Forgotten Angels Foundation, but the $25 entry gets you it's a free raffle ticket to this bike, and then there's like 5 prizes. I'll repost the link so it's fresh again for everyone to do this, because I know I bought into it. I'm gonna get a fucking custom ass bike for my dad, and I donated fucking some money to these kids. But it's a woman who was in the foster care system herself, and she created this, and it's giving. You have no credit, you have no stable home. Some people have parents, but they just fucking suck and don't encourage you, and like. Yep. So you need like.
Mandy, find out where the details for it, because if it's down here near me, I'd love to help. I was a carpenter. I was a framer years ago, so I could swing a hammer. And if it's near here, I'd love to help you guys do that. That's a great cause.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And she was like saying like when the bike gets raffled, which is in March, they'll have like I guess they'll be able to cash in on the money or use the money or whatever it is to then get this. They're building like 150 houses.
That's awesome.
And
That's great.
they started where they converted a bunch of other like vessels, like small trucks and trailers that they then were adding to become tiny homes. But now they're like, they're doing a whole new project, bought new land. It's this amazing thing that I fell into, and I don't want to have biological kids myself. So like, I'm just like, if I could fucking just go down and help kids and just tell them everybody's a misfit and you're not going to fit in, and just do what makes you feel comfortable and tell everyone to go fuck themselves. Like, that's what I want to do with my life. Like, So I will give you the details, and I will repost that for people listening because it's the Forgotten Angels, and it's a fucking amazing cause.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they want to have, their dream is to be one in every state. To
And as
have
for kids aging out, so it's what, 17 and older?
Yeah. They're mostly 18-year-old kids. They're like, some of them are even younger because it's like their parents, or just it's like a bad scene or whatever it may be. And you're gonna go to juvenile delinquent center, or you could go to this place where you have a little sense of safety and security.
Right.
And it's predominantly boys at the moment, but they wanted to open it up to boys and more girls rather, just because it's a different thing, having a 16-year-old boy out on his own versus having a 16-year-old girl out on her own. Just unfortunately, that's a real reality of the situation.
There's more vulnerability there.
Right.
A woman,
Yeah, living by yourself, they want the girls more bunked together, more commune style, but, everyone needs their individuality and stuff. So it's just a logistics thing, but it's a great cause, and a bunch of people are getting involved in it. I'll repost Jared Weems' stuff. His mom, Nancy, the reason I found them is she is a devout fucking follower of the Wildflowers and the Calamity Jones Hour. I'm not watching who's tuning in right now. She might even be watching, but she always tunes in. She's from Tennessee. I don't even know how the fuck she found us. I think through Dan Romano and Bruno and these guys that are out of state that are just loyal fucking supporters of what people are doing, because they know, like you said, we're real people just having conversation.
Yep. And this is so much better, personally, I feel, than watching regular television. I don't watch regular TV anymore. My kids are always yelling because I'm always on YouTube. I want to see what's going on or bouncing around, because there's so much content out there that you can see that's so interesting for 15 minutes rather than sitting through 45 minutes of shit.
Right. I know. Glenn and I, if the movie's 2 hours long, we will not even put it on. We're like, that means there's 45 minutes that does not need to be in that storyline.
Yeah. Our brains are being programmed to want that content delivered more quickly. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's like, it's fucking everything. And why is everything a series? That's another thing. We're like, it's a series, we won't watch it. Fuck the series. Like, and people people love series because it's like, oh, you put it on for 22 minutes and then it's cute or whatever. We're like, no, it's got to be an hour and 25 minutes, and it's got to be a movie, or we're not fucking watching it.
Jessica doesn't like to start those series either. She's like, I don't like that start. And you have to know, if you miss one, you're fucked or whatever.
And then you're going to like it and watch it without me, or I'm going to like it and watch it without you.
It's funny you say that, because I've been thinking about this, and I visually cheat on her every night. I wait for her to fall asleep so I can put on my fucking videos and my movies, and it has nothing to do with sex. I just want to watch hours and hours of how it's made, how they use a metal punch to make fucking cylinder heads for 1967 Camaros. It's so pathetic.
You gotta do it, though. You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, if that's your fucking thing, man. I mean, and then women love the mindless, like, we like the men hunted. That's why men are silent. Men hunted, and women gathered berries and fucking talked. So we like to watch the gossipy garbage.
Right.
The more, like, emotionally driven stuff. And then, like, I walk in. What's that?
You watch those murder shows, like the ID, Most Wanted?
Honestly, every time I'm at my in-laws, I find myself watching. Me and my husband are always just watching the Murder Your Spouse show, and it's just so funny that it's just because that's just the only thing on the TV. And we're always like, this is just a funny coincidence that this is what's on. No, I don't put TV on intentionally, really. No, I mean, I love cartoons. I love Big Mouth.
Me too. How funny is that?
Nick Kroll, I fucking love Nick Kroll.
I love the did you see the new one? I think it's the Northwest or Wild West, Great North. It's the people who did Bob's Burgers.
Okay, I got to check that out because I love John Benjamin, or H. John Benjamin.
Really good stuff.
Love him so much. I don't know his name.
We're adults and we look forward to watching cartoons. What the fuck?
No, well, because the cartoons are so great. The cartoons are so good. I wanted to reference a cartoon earlier, but it was too early in the show. It's 44 minutes in now. We can get into it. You had said something about life being like luck. And one of my favorite lines ever is F is for family, which is the now I'm gonna fucking forget his Bill Burr's show, and the neighbor yelled because Frank's wife is hot in the show, and the neighbor's like, "Yeah, you're a lucky man, Frank," and Frank's like, "Look, had nothing to do with it."
That's a great show too.
It's like, yeah, and I'm like, I just see this as like this was his life. Like, even though I'm sure it's just like our comedy acts, it's ramped up, it's it's amplified and all that stuff, but like, I feel like I'm like this was roughly his childhood.
Oh, absolutely. Because you could hear Bill Burr's voice in every one of those characters. Every one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Just whether they were a combination of people or whatever they are, they actually, he's great, and he's someone that could just fucking rant by himself. That's
he's incredible. He's incredible. He's the funniest person off stage that you'll ever run into. He's not trying to be funny. That's the thing about Bill. He doesn't try to be. He will make you laugh, not even trying. He's amazing. He's one of the best.
It's great. Yeah, no, honestly, I had thought of a quote that me and my friend had said this was quite a while ago, but the other day, she was like, someone had said, what's better, like sex or laughing? And we were like, you can laugh with your grandma. So, laughing.
Yes,
every time.
If you laugh while having sex with your grandma,
inappropriate, Daren.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something about luck. If you can laugh with your grandma while you're fucking her. No. I need my screen button that we have on the wildflowers where I got to tap out of the conversation.
Laughing's pretty goddamn good, though. I mean, how good, when you really think about it, when we really laugh, how good do you feel after that real laugh? Not the bullshit one, the real one.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a fucking high. It's why I think we're adrenaline junkies as comedians. Like you saying, like we're cool as cucumbers on stage. Like I feel like I'm gonna get on King to Cobb before I perform, and like
really?
I love it. Like I love feeling that. And you're in the moment. It's like riding a motorcycle. Like you can't think about what bills you're paying. You got to think about what joke you told and what the next joke is. Yep. You got to think about the it's just like that's the only thing I can equate it to because my dad and his Harleys, like you can't be thinking about your bills. You need to be thinking about not fucking crashing your bike. And I'm sure it's the focus. And it's the same with the longboarding. You have to, you're looking at the pebbles in front of you. You're making sure you're not getting hit by cars. You're not thinking about that shit on the curio cabinet that you didn't fucking handle. Like,
or how you're going to pay the oil bill or whatever else it is.
Yeah. My friend today, she's a Buddhist, and she was telling me one of the things is just choose. Like when a thought comes around your mind, she said you just need to just witness it. She said don't even like actually take on the thought. You just like let it go by you. And she said when you have a thought, like say you're at work and you're like trying to do a task and you're like, fuck, I didn't call that guy back yet. And like you like are literally composing an email to a client, but you're like already pissed at yourself that you didn't get back to somebody else. And she says to herself, choose where your mind is right now. Like get the task done in front of you. Like, or if you're thinking about the dog needing to be fed when you're at work, choose because your dog, you can't feed him right now anyways. Don't worry about it. Just be focused and be in the moment and how important that is. And like even you saying like moving, you get rid of so much, like you got rid of a lot of stuff. I think like I'm trying to do that with my house right now. We're painting one of the rooms in the upstairs and like that room being empty, I'm like re-looking at all the shit that moved. And it's like, all right, do I still need it all? Like it does.
No, get rid of it. It's garbage.
And I have a basement. Does it need to go in a bin in the basement? It can. Or I'm like ripping up notebooks and shit. It's like I gotta get. It's like, and it's liberating because we hold ourselves down.
If you just put it in the bin in the basement, it's just going to sit there.
And it's just going to be
get rid of that shit.
It's just going to be kindling if my house ever catches on fire.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it all, man. It's the one, you know what? You don't miss it. if you throw something away that you don't know, you don't miss it.
I know. I'll see like a shirt every once in a while in a picture, and for a moment I'm like, oh, I wish I still had that. Not. It's already.
It's a shirt.
It was cute in that photo. But I don't like really regret anything that I've ever given to the fucking donation center. It's like I but so much. It's the sisterhood of the traveling pants. I'm sure with your daughter and your wife, like that. Everyone just gives away bags of clothes.
Because you can't throw. It's hard to throw those away. It's really hard.
So
you feel bad.
So you have to have somebody. You have to have 10 people sift through it.
Yep.
Because you paid
the
good.
Best of the best.
Because you paid good goddamn money for this shit. And it doesn't
you
fit.
You don't have children. You don't have children. You're not going to have kids, so you're lucky, because it's exponentially worse with children.
Oh my god,
the art. Part with anything. Oh, this was the first bib he had when he shit his pants. Who the fuck cares? Get rid of it. Oh, but you don't understand. He was so tiny. I don't give a fuck. He's 19. Get rid of this goddamn shit. Who wants this garbage?
It was covered in human feces. Get rid of it.
Yes. So,
no,
in that
I know.
regard, you're lucky, but we do hold on to too much shit. We really do.
It's because we're just creatures and we like our shit, and people who are like not people are more of like hoarders, like, and that's what I'm like I gotta like get down on my like collection of clothing, because it's seeming like I'm like not a people person right now. Like it's seeming like I'm just hoarding a lot of shit. But it's just like the mental clutter, the physical clutter. But I think being in lockdown has definitely put a lot of pressure on all of us. But it's also like made us prioritize like what's actually important.
Yes. I say all the time, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way, and if they do, you go fuck yourself, you're stupid. But the lockdown, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I had spent so much quality time with the family. I was lucky enough that I was able to work from home.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, it sucked. There was a lot of shit that we couldn't do, that we had taken away from us. People I know had plans and whatever, but we made the best of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many of us have done that, like yourself as well, because you see there's so much creativity coming out of this now, and people are changing the way they look at everything. I've changed the way I look at everything. I'm sure you have too.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was bad, but it's good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need poison to make you feel better.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And like we were just both you and I, but me and my husband, we were both blessed to have jobs that I was able to work remotely. So I was staying safe, and he works in schools, so he was out, but he was all, safe, socially distanced,
Right.
working. The schools, they don't let you just like be working without they were literally driving by making sure you had a mask on and shit. Like they were shutting shit down. But his company was great. They had all the fucking disinfectant wipes, and he was like, I was eating Skittles. My husband does doors for a living, and he's like, he'll change like door hardware and rehang doors, and he does all carpentry. But he was like 3 days before like Italy shut down, he was like, I was fucking eating Skittles and like changing doorknobs. Like I think I'm gonna be okay. Like I think we're gonna be all right. Like we're so it got to a point where like we have to start living. My dad said it to me when it first happened. He's like, man, you can get hit by a car tomorrow.
Yep.
Like we can't just like put a mask on and never see anybody or hug anybody again, and never like, me and Bonnie were doing the masks for a couple of weeks in quarantine, and by the third week or the fourth week, we said we're bringing smiles back. We're two people. I was working remotely, and she was, she's retired, so I was like, we not seeing smiles is physically affecting our human souls. Like
Absolutely. No, absolutely. That's a really good point.
And we're like, go.
No, because when you interact with people, everyone's face is covered. Like I'm smiling at people, and I'm thinking in my head, they don't even know that I'm smiling. And it affects your soul. It really does, because you want that interaction. We're human beings. We need that positive, a smile here or a wink there, and we're not getting that. And I think they're going to do a lot of studies, and you're going to see that it's affected people emotionally down the road. I mean, look at suicides are up, right?
Oh yeah, no, I know it's bad, and it's because it's like when you sit and think with your thought, like, and it used to be you go to the bar and you would tell a stranger, or you'd sit in the cat and you tell a stranger maybe some of your darkest secrets, and you'd let some of that air off. But now you're just stuck with your family, where you can't air out any of that random aggression or that random outlet. Where we would go to an open mic and you say some shit, my fucking, whatever, and you just fucking jokingly just let off some SEMO. You say, this is my therapy. You joke about how much you don't like your job, even though you're so happy, thankful you have a job, or whatever it may be. But, like, we don't have that, like, strange microwave interaction anymore with people, where you just, like, when you go on vacation and you, like, fucking become best friends with a person. Like, it's like the microwave relationship.
Yep.
It's like that happens overnight with people with, like, secrets and outlets and things like that. And, like, they're unable to do that now. Yeah. And I think it's taking a toll. And, yeah, smiling and nodding at strangers, I think it's taking a toll on all of us. Like, it's
hugging people, like,
oh, yeah.
I miss hugging people. Like, I miss my friend. Like, I hug my friends.
I hug people. I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm having.
And it's just so weird, because some people are like, and you don't know what to do. I don't want to upset people, and I don't want to be the guy that, like, he doesn't care about COVID. Everyone's so fucking uppity. I respect you. I just want to get back to normal fucking human beings. I want to go back to being a monkey and picking fucking gnats off your hair. I want to be normal. I want to throw shit at the window. When is it gonna happen?
I know.
I'm so fed up. It's enough already.
I know, and that's the thing. Me and you, we just have to be the transformation. You just have to be the, like, this. There's not a new normal. It's, dude.
No.
Life is changed. Get with the fucking program.
We're making the new normal. That's what we have to do. We are going to have to make it.
We've always been creating the future, guys. It's just now it's really fucking prevalent that there's a fine line about which direction we're gonna fucking go in. Because people are
soft so long. Think about it, Mandy. So long.
I know, but they were
so good.
They were burning bras. They were listening to music. People were chilling.
Oh, God, it was amazing. We were getting pot legalized everywhere, right? It was insane. And then this happened. We had it so good, so good.
Well, this is what happens when. This is why we can't have nice things, guys. And seriously, we had to just grin and break it. But no,
I think it's good. As you said before, as horrible as it is, and it may be a cliche, Mandy, I think this was something good that we needed. It's sort of going to cleanse this country and all of us as a whole.
And it definitely cleansed, like, I know, circles of friends and families and stuff, and you're like, oh, that's your take on it?
Yeah, right.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Remind me to save money on your fucking Christmas gift next year.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how many people are coming to light, and you're like, wait, you agree with that? Okay.
I unfollowed so many people when everything got really crazy, because I'm like, you are not informed, and I don't have cable in my house, and I don't need you piping in when people were all going live during the protests in the very beginning, and I'm like, I'm watching this shit waiting for like such fear incited in me, because everyone wanted to get the, like, next treacherous thing. So they're out there filming, and it's also like the phone's your shield out there, kind of, if you're not going to fucking punch somebody in the face, your phone is your evidence. Right. And it's just like, I just unfollowed all these people, and I was like, you know what? I have a podcast where I spread message of love, and they can see my shit. I don't need to see yours. If you fucking try to direct message me or call me or whatever, I could block you on Messenger or that kind of thing. But anything like that, it's like, the one guy, he didn't like the way I was calling cops. I was referring to them as pigs several times. And Rich Schultes had already said, I do not agree with this lady. And then I continued to poke at it and make a joke of it, just because he had already said, I don't agree with her calling them pigs. And my grandfather was a fucking police sergeant, and my dad taught me to call them bacon, refer to them as bacon. It's just how the generations work.
But the fact that someone got so upset over a word that you used is ridiculous.
Well, he said
It's ridiculous.
He said he will no longer watch the show. And at one other point, we had he said, "Just Mandy think I'm an asshole?" Because at one point he had commented, and there was like an interaction where I was like, I say asshole in a very endearing way. I love assholes. I'm very, so when the way it came up and I passed him by quickly, I actually commented to him after with the fact saying, I meant no disrespect. That was not, it came out wrong. It was just in passing. I was actually on your side if you, whatever.
Right.
But then he direct messaged Bonnie about the pig comment, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go grovel for me to change my language when you can't get with the message that I'm saying. You're just hearing the words, you're not hearing the message. Yeah. Like you said, you're caught up on the word. All right, every time I say pig, think I'm saying law enforcement agent, and then just fucking go with the fucking thought.
People get hung up. They get hung up in their own retard loop. That's what it is. It's just in their head, and no matter what, they want to get their way done, and that's how it goes. And who was that? Was that Dan Romano, right?
No, it was not Dan Romano. It was actually Dan Romano came on, and somebody it was actually an interaction that he was part of because the word asshole came up because Dan was around, and it was like I said, it's a loving term. And then it got taken wrong because there's a lag and fucking. But I'm not going to grovel to you to watch my show. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not.
It's free. It's free. Like, what do I have to do? You want me to start paying you to watch me? No.
Yeah, seriously. Do I need to Venmo you to watch every Wednesday and comment? Misogynistic stuff only anyways, ever. So, Daren, you were a fucking trooper. I only had you till 9, and it's 9:34. We're at an hour and 1 minute. I want you to plug the Rabbit Hole podcast more. Tell me exactly. So we want to find the Rabbit Hole podcast on YouTube?
On YouTube, you can go through. On Facebook, you'll see the links on the page, but we request that you go through YouTube and watch the full episodes there. You don't even have to watch it. Just subscribe. I don't give a shit if you watch it. Subscribe. Eventually, something will come along that you like and you'll listen to, and you'll like it or you want. And like I said, who the fuck cares? It's free.
Yes, and we are doing it for the audience and for the people that are at home not wanting to watch the mindless TV, but we are also doing this for ourselves. So like you saying, like, who cares if it's 40 people? It's 40 people that I actually either personally know or know from the internet and have interacted with after the fact. So it's like, these are real connections that I'm forming, and it's like, does that make me a bad person? No, I don't really think so. I really don't. Like, I really think that Glenn holding me to this standard that we were talking about, and us setting a precedent, you having a podcast that now you got to show up for it now.
Right.
You scheduled it, now you got to do it, and it's good now because now every week you're going to try to add to it, and one more thing we can add, and one more, And it
gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it keeps growing. And before you know it, it changes, and you have your following, and it's the process. It's branding, and it's just sanity.
Yeah. No, it is. It's Bonnie and I. We always say we'll stop doing it when it stops being fun. And right now we're having fun. So, Daren, Dillon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I really thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Not only did we get through the Skype fucking hurdles, we covered a lot of ground tonight, and we had a lot of fun.
And we had Jessica had a little cameo.
Yes, who could forget? No, Jessica Dillon is a angel. She really is an earth angel. I met you guys before I ever saw your act, so I met you as a human before, and we interacted. You didn't even see my act until I was on Put Up, Shut Ups. Like, you didn't even, we were friends and friendly with each other before we even knew each other's acts. So, like, we come from a personal place. It's literally just two friends having a chat. And so, like we said, all our friends will not watch this, but all these people that might not recognize one of us may watch it.
You're my friend too. You're our new friends.
Welcome, everybody. And thank you guys for tuning in. If you did, we weren't watching the comments tonight. We love you forever. We really do. Daren, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So good seeing you.
Subscribe to the Rabbit Hole podcast, everybody. We're going to repost it. I know Robin did. We love Robin.
Wow.
Bye.
Take care.
Be good. Yeah, let me end the broadcast.